Okay, so as you can see, vocal health has to do with singing here, with speaking, with health in general, and then vocal health has to do with eggplants, obviously. Okay, so I'm going to divide this topic into two aspects. One is what you can do with your lifestyle to help to improve or maintain your vocal health. Alright, what can we do in our life to help with our vocal health? Basically, what a doctor would recommend you do. Like what I listed here. Rest. Rest means enough sleep. And also it means without talking. So there's a term that I learned from a vocal teacher on YouTube. She talks about this concept of vocal dollar. It means your voice can only afford to do so much per day, and you need to budget your voice. So spending your vocal dollars wisely is good for preserving your voice. But for us everyday people, it is very, 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 extremely very hard to actually develop vocal damage. People who usually develop vocal damages are, for example, teachers who have to speak all the time, and professional singers who they have to record, they have to perform, they have to stay up late, they have to get up early, they have to socialize and drink wine, and basically their lifestyle is a mess. So we average people usually don't develop vocal damage. So it's not that big of a deal if you spend your vocal dollars willy-nilly. But ideally, we would like to budget it so that we can optimize our vocal dollar spending. So you can think of this as after you exercise or after you do labor, your muscles may or may not be sore the day after. So voice is also controlled by various muscles, so they can be sore as well. And you have to be mindful, and you have to observe how much your voice can endure in one day, and what level of soreness it results in the next day or even on the same day. So it's your choice to how to budget your vocal dollars. That's the main concept. So ideally, we want to rest when we have the chance, especially if you have to use your voice a lot. For example, if you're a teacher, if you're often a speaker, if you're a vocal performer, an actor also. And nutrients. It's very important to have like the vitamins, the proteins, the whatever the fuck. So for example, I take one like complex vitamin thing every day, but I also make sure I eat a lot of veggies and I eat proteins well, because those things are the most common thing for people to lack, to miss. I really don't speak a lot on the day, but I like singing a lot, especially when I'm writing my music. So everybody has a different physiology. So whatever feels easy and like cheap in vocal dollar kind of sense, you can do whatever you want as long as you feel the vocal dollars aren't being spent a lot, Hydration. Obviously, you need a hydration. You need that sweet H2O in your body to first of all to maintain good circulation, to give your skin a nice glow, like a natural glow without needing like shots or something. And you need water to, most importantly for singers or for the voice specifically, you need water to lubricate your vocal folds. So there are two ways to lubricate them. One is by drinking water, but from drinking water, you have to wait for it to go down to your small intestines, and then for the water to be absorbed by your small intestine, and then for the blood flow to distribute all the water particles throughout your body, and your voice will only get a small portion of that water intake after all that time. And this process is long, but it's necessary because you simply need your whole body to be hydrated to be functioning optimally. And the second way to hydrate your voice is by inhaling steam. And however, this method is very temporary, but it can be very helpful if you are, for example, if you are in a highly air-conditioned space, because the air conditioning most likely comes with dehumidification. The fuck, that's a long word. So if you want your voice to not lose that much water in an air-conditioned space, you can inhale steam, like from a hot cup of water, or you have a bottle, like it can keep the hotness inside that kind of bottle. It's even better because the steam will keep coming as long as you open it and you close it after inhaling the steam. Okay, let me see. How long does it take? I think usually it takes like 30 minutes to 1 hour for the water to go through your whole system, but that doesn't mean your voice will be, or your body will be, like well hydrated necessarily. You have to keep hydrating every 30 minutes or so, as long as like what doctors would say, as long as your pee is not like highly yellow, like condensed yellow. I think that's good. Wait, steam? Yeah, like water vapor. Like you can lose water from breathing out, right? Because your vocal tract, your air tract, your airway is covered with mucous membrane, and they can allow water to be evaporated into the air, especially if the environment is very dry. Like if you're in a hospital, like an auditorium where the air condition is very strong and the air is very dry. In that kind of environment, you can inhale steam. Now let's get to the fourth item. Avoid irritating spices and overly processed food. So let's go with spices first. Oh, but also there are natural foods that are also recommended to avoid. But let's start from the spices. Obviously, anything that is irritating, like here, chili, like hot spices, and sometimes what are some examples of spices that are not hot but also irritating? Is there any? I don't know. But basically, whatever that makes you phlegmy, or that makes you wanna, like something that is too like cold, like mint, that may or may not be irritating for some. Yeah, so spices, obviously, you don't want to irritate because the throat, because where we eat, even though the food doesn't go down to your windpipe, but it's very close to your vocal folds, so they may how do you say that? excrete. I forgot. They may produce mucus too, so it makes you phlegmy. That's why when we eat hot things, it gets phlegmy, because it's trying to protect itself from the potential spices going down there, I guess. And overly processed food, for example, deep fried things, preserved, like pickles, even though they are very tasty, but they are often highly dehydrating, or they're filled with salt, for example, and probably some other chemicals that I don't know of that has the ability to dehydrate you. And some natural food that can make you very phlegmy are like milk, soy milk, or well, those are the things that on the top of my head. So you don't need me to list out everything you would want to avoid. You just need to observe how your body reacts to different kind of foods, and it'll give you a good sense of what you want to avoid. So basically, do whatever doctors usually recommend. When you improve your health, your vocal health is definitely going to improve, because your voice is a part of your health. However, I love spicy food. So for example, if I don't have an important performance on a day, I eat the fuck out of chili peppers. I love them. And even sometimes when I have a performance on the day, but it's not that big of a deal, if it's not that big of a performance, I will still eat spicy things. So it all depends on what. There are two nourishments, I guess, in this category: what nourishes your body and what nourishes your soul. Chili pepper nourishes my soul. I eat spicy food every day. I usually do as well. I love them. It is very bad for your voice. Well, to be clear, eating spicy food is not going to ruin your voice. No. It just makes you phlegmy for a certain amount of time, depending on how your body reacts to that certain level of spiciness. It will go away. However, if you eat like those challenging, some ghost pepper, I think that's how it's called, those extremely hot peppers, they may burn your mucous membrane in your oral cavity. So there's a chance that they can hurt your voice too. But I don't believe it'll be permanent, I think. And I like spicy too. Yeah. I love chili. I love pepper. I love white pepper, black pepper, chili pepper. I love a lot of them. Speaking habits. What can you do to improve or maintain your vocal health with regarding speaking? A lot of people actually develop vocal damage from incorrect and or prolonged speaking rather than singing, because there aren't that many professional singers in the world. And if you are a professional singer, chances are you're not that bad at being healthy with your singing, right? So let's go through these points. 1, avoid throat tension. So this thing comes with vocal training, knowledge, practice, building up muscle memories. And what do I mean by that is, I think in our lives, you've definitely heard people speak in a way that you think is very tight or squeezed or very painful in their throat. You can think of that, and there must be ways that they can avoid speaking like that, and that's what we can train ourselves to do. But there are also some more things that we can adjust if we pay enough attention, and we have a vocal guide that points them out for you. So let's go through these. One is proper airflow support, abdominal breathing. So let me start with explaining what proper airflow support means. It means we're breathing down into the belly, hence abdominal, instead of keeping the air trapped in the chest cavity. So in reality, the air doesn't actually go into your belly. It's just your lungs can expand downward and push down your diaphragm, and then the diaphragm pushes whatever's in your abdominal cavity, and they probably go to the front of the abdominal cavity, so your belly rises and lowers. So abdominal breathing is proper for airflow. It's because when you breathe down, when you allow your lungs to expand downward, they push down the diaphragm. And the diaphragm is actually a very, very powerful muscle. It is very, very strong. And if you use this kind of strong muscle to support your speaking airflow or volume, because the larger your airflow, the larger your volume is, the higher your volume is. So if you speak louder, the airflow is stronger. If you speak quieter, the airflow is lower. However, there are two ways to support your airflow. One is the proper way that I just explained. Use your diaphragm to push upward. You can check out my I've uploaded a few videos on my Twitch page for abdominal breathing, so I'm not going to explain it too fully here. But what's the other way to support your voice that is not proper, quote unquote, is using your throat, closing up your throat so tightly so that the air going through has to go faster than if your throat is relaxed and open and have a bigger diameter. If you squeeze it tightly, you can create larger volume as well. But why is that not proper, quote unquote? It's because one, these muscles are not as strong as the diaphragm. So the diaphragm actually works very easily to support your voice when you start to train your diaphragm. And the second reason is when you use these not as strong muscles to support your voice, it's going to get tired very quickly. And when muscles get tired, they're tense. And when they're tense, they lose flexibility. And when they lose flexibility, you lose pitch, you lose stamina on your voice, you lose color, tone, or timbre changes that you may want to add into your either speaking or singing. So basically, using your throat to support the airflow, to squeeze the airflow, is not ideal at all, because those muscles that control your vocal folds are so tiny. They're very tiny and delicate. They're used to control the pitch, not support airflow. The next item, yawning and swallowing will reset your larynx. So let's start by talking about why the larynx is important. The larynx is basically this region between your mouth and your throat. It's like the intersection between your mouth and your throat. It's here, okay? And because it's a very big muscle, and if you squeeze it up, it is going to affect the entire voice, but maybe not the entire voice, but very much. It affects your voice so much. And yawning and swallowing will reset your larynx. So what do you mean? What do I mean by reset? Basically, it can relax your larynx. So try swallowing now. Swallowing nothing, or you can swallow a sip of water, whatever. And you can and pay attention to what this area feels when you swallow. You will be able to observe that those muscles do a certain type of movement, and that motion is good for helping your larynx reset. Even when you're singing, if you have enough space between two lines, you can actually swallow to help you be relatively relaxed and more ready into the next line. And yawning is very good for how do you say that? It's unflexing your larynx. So when you yawn, this area of your throat will open up. And by opening up your muscle tissues, it means they have to not flex. They have to relax. So when you yawn, this area gets big, like expanded. And I talked about this in my previous lessons regarding relaxation. I think it's on my front page. That's what she said, or what he said in my case. Okay, so yawning and swallowing will help your. Okay, the next point, open up your mouth. What does this mean? So let me demonstrate what's the opposite of opening up your mouth. Some people speak like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. But how I speak is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Right? You can very easily observe that my mouth is moving compared to the previous example where the lips are barely moving. And what does this have to do with vocal health? So when the air comes up from your lungs and out of your mouth, if it imagine using a straw, and when you sip water through a straw and you squeeze it tightly with your fingers, making the straw narrower, you have to use more force to suck for the water to come up, or whatever you're drinking to come up. It means when the airway or the waterway gets narrower, you have to use more force to keep the water flow or the airflow. So if you don't open up your mouth, it's similar to squeezing the straw. You're keeping the airway very tiny, very narrow, so your body has to tense up more. It has to exert more force so that the airflow can come out like easily. And that actually has to do with what I talked about, vocal dollars. This is, if you don't open up your mouth like comfortably, it can cost you a lot of vocal dollars. And as we move on and eventually learn about resonant spaces in our skulls, if you open up those spaces inside your mouth, inside your nose, it also means opening up the airway, just inside out, and that is also helpful. But for now, you just need to understand: don't keep your mouth so small when you speak. That can help the airflow go out easier, so the air pressure doesn't build up within your body so much. Okay. Next thing, don't squeeze your voice less. I don't know if this description is understandable, but squeezing your voice is basically tensing your throat when you speak. For example, my voice is pretty relaxed now. I don't think my throat is squeezed now, but if I try to squeeze it, I would sound like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I think you can hear the difference. So when you speak with a lot of rasp, when you can actually avoid it, rasp is like scream, like horsey voice. That's with all this mouth opening and sucking and blowing is tremendous. Yes, we have to know everything about opening and sucking and swallowing, and blowing. Yes, it is crucial for professional voice users. This is new. Okay. Never heard singing lessons like this. Because I'm just a slut. Okay, so that's it. If you can, don't squeeze your voice. It's that simple. And with my lessons, especially the relaxation lesson that I previously uploaded, you probably have a good grasp on how to not squeeze it. You just relax it and it'll happen naturally. Okay, next item, avoid raising volume when accepted. When accepted means like socially accepted. You don't want to speak so quietly that the person you're speaking to can't hear you, or even a phone can hear you. And how do you avoid raising volume? Basically, you don't use your diaphragm as much. You relaxes your belly when you breathe out. That is naturally going to reduce the muscle force output of the diaphragm. But why do we do that? What does it mean? When the airflow is when you use more volume, it means the airflow is stronger, and it means the diaphragm is flexing stronger and harder, very, very hard. And you don't want to. The reason why you don't want to raise your voice when you don't have to is because when the airflow is that strong, your body has to work more to keep everything inside balanced. You can think about a water pipe. When the water pipe is used for very everyday water pressure things, it doesn't have to be a very, very, very strong pipe. But if the water is used to withstand high water pressure things, the water pipe is probably going to be metal and thick and not easily breakable because it has to withstand a stronger water pressure. So in our bodies, if the airflow is stronger, our body has to work harder to maintain the airflow, or to keep the airflow not bursting out of your muscles. However, this is a relatively tiny factor. You don't have to pay that much attention, but ideally, if you can, not raising your voice is good. And do lip trills often. What is lip trills? You can refer to my previous videos on my front page about relaxation, but it's basically this. We create this type of vibration, and when this vibration is propagated down to your throat, it can relax the muscle tissues that controls your vocal folds. So thank you for listening, and you can get into karaoke now, or if you have any question about these, or you want to discuss something else, let me know.